You see me, right? You can see me. Hare Krishna. So we'll be having a Bhagavad Gita class. So if you'd like to take a seat, there's cushions in the back of the next to the door if you guys like. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya. As I go, Premanande, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. So today, I've been asked to do 2 verses, but I only prepared for one because I was told to do the other one like very late. So did it like both are like next to each other. So anyways, so the first one on the board is 1860. So I'm just gonna recite this translation and purport of this and recite Sanskrit of 61. So 1860. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Under illusion you are now declining to act according to my direction, but compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Purport. If one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, then he is compelled to act by the modes in which he is situated. Everyone is under the spell of a particular combination of the modes of nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. 61. So I'll recite the Sanskrit and you could follow after if you want. Ishwar Sarva Bhutanam Ishwara Sarva Bhutanam Riddadesha Arjuna Tishtati Riddesha Arjuna Tishtati Brahmanya Sarva Bhutani Yat Rarudani Mayaya Yat Rarudani Mayaya Ishwar Sarva Bhutanam Riddadesha Arjuna Tishtati Brahmanya Sarva Bhutani Yat Rarudani Mayaya. Whatever translation. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. Sarvabhutanam, all living entities. Riddadesha, and the location of the heart. Arjuna, Arjuna. Tishtati, resides. Brahmanya, causing to travel. Sarvabhutani, all living entities. Yantra, on a machine. Arudhani, being placed. Mayaya, under the spell of material energy. Translation. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. Purport. Arjuna was not the supreme knower, and his decision not to fight or not to fight or not to fight was confined to his limited discretion. Lord Krishna instructed that the individual is not all in all. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, or He Himself, Krishna, as localized Super Soul, sits in the heart, directing the living being. After changing bodies, a living entity forgets his past deeds, but the Super Soul, as a knower of past, present, and future, remains the witness of all his activities. Therefore, all the activities of the living entities are directed by this Super Soul. The living entity gets what he deserves and is carried by the mature body, which is created in the mature energy under the direction of the Super Soul. As soon as a living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of that bodily situation. A person seated in a high-speed motor car goes faster than one seated in a slower car. Though the living entities, the drivers may be the same, similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity, so that he may work according to his past desires. The living entity is not independent. One should not think himself independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual is always under the Lord's control. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and that is the injunction of the next verse. So sorry, I didn't do the Sanskrit reputation, but it's okay because I've got 2 verses, so it's alright. So we're coming to the end of Bhagavad Gita, and this verse is, for me, it's like one of the best parts of Bhagavad Gita. It's coming to the end, it's like the climax, and Krishna is summarizing everything to Arjuna. And the verse of like 1866 comes up of Sarva Dharma Parityajam, so that's considered like one of the most important verses in the whole Bhagavad Gita. And this verse can be perceived, and there's so many other devotees who probably have way better realizations of this verse than me. But I'll just try to share what I've tried to find. So in this, like throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking about the Super Soul or relating something to the Super Soul very often. So Krishna talks about the Super Soul as a benefactory, the source of all knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness, the best friend, the ever well-wisher, as a witness, overseer, permitter, and a supreme enjoyer. And he even says, like the soul, as the super soul within the heart, he removes the darkness born of illusion. And in that way, Krishna is the supreme helper, the supporter to whoever is sincerely trying to serve Krishna. So Krishna helps from within. And ultimately, the super soul is the only thing that accompanies a soul within this world ever since we came here. So Krishna is within the heart, directing us from different bodies. When we die, Krishna follows us to whatever body we want to take next, we accept next, as a supreme companion. So Krishna is being full in all opulence and compassion, just to be with us as his parts and parcels. Krishna comes to accompany us, and he's acting in different ways, in different natures, as per the desire of the living entity. So it's said that the soul and the super soul are like two birds on the same branch, and the super soul is seeing the activities of the soul, who is eating the fruits of his desires. I think that's correct. But he's eating the fruits, and which the super soul is just observing. And if Krishna guides everyone in this mature world, even with mature benedictions, so as a super soul, Krishna guides one to be the enjoyer, which the soul wants to do in this mature world, even though he's not. Because we desire to be enjoyers in the mature world, Krishna is like, okay, fine, you go there, you have a little house, you have a car, you might have a little family, you could be the proprietor. You might think you could think you could be the proprietor, you could think you're the enjoyer, but ultimately it's like you're just a spirit soul identifying with a mature body. So the Lord as Paramatma, the super soul, witnesses, and as a supreme father, he's obliged to fulfill our desires. So many people or souls, they want different things from Krishna. We don't actually know we want it from Krishna. Like so many people don't know it, they want it from Krishna, but Krishna is the only person who can give it to them, because he has everything. So from within, he accounts the desires of all and helps them to get a body by which they can fulfill their desires. If one wants to live a long life, it could become a tree, or it could become a demigod. And if you want to eat something by hunting, you could become a hunter, or you could become a tiger. So Krishna fulfills desires upon our desires, basically. In the purport, Prabhupada says, by the order of the Lord, the mature nature creates a body for the living entity to enjoy or suffer. So the mature nature, there's three energies of Krishna: the external, internal, and the marginal. As marginal, we are inclined to be attracted, right? To be attracted to one of them. We either are in internal or the external energy, antaranga or bahiranga. And right now, because if the soul wants to be in the external energy, then he gets a mature body to enjoy and to fulfill his desires. In one of the lectures, Prabhupada mentions how there is 8.4 million species of life, and all of them are due to the desires of the living entity. And he says, I'll just quote this. So he says in the class, so this is a position. Everyone has got a certain type of body on account of different types of sense gratification. Otherwise, why are there so many varieties? Why one is human being? Why one is a pig? Why one is a demigod? Why one is a tree? Why one is a fish? Why so many? 8.4 million. This is all due to our desires for sense gratification. These varieties. Otherwise, one variety would have been there existing. So Krishna is very compassionate. Even though we want to be independent of Krishna, Krishna allows us to accept a body, to identify with the body, to fulfill those desires. And Prabhupada continues to say in the same lecture that we are always praying to Krishna. So Prabhupada says again, if I would have been like this, if I would have got this opportunity, then I would have eaten like this, I would have done like this. This is going on continuously. So lifetime after lifetime, we get one body and the desires increase. And we get another body and the desires increase even more. And so we get entangled in this illusion of just wanting and wanting. But because we are not satisfied as a soul in the mature world, we can't be satisfied because we are trying to act independently from Krishna. So we are always hankering after all these mature opulence, mature sense gratification, which ultimately is just chewing the chewed. What's going on? Yeah, so Prabhupada says we are just simply desiring one after another. And Krishna is so kind that he fulfills that, and that is God's business, thankless business that he's noting down. All right, I will give you facility like this. So Krishna asks the mature energy to create a body under, and due to this, there are so many varieties because of so many desires we have. So Krishna is a supreme director, directing every soul. That's his business as a Supreme Father, to be obliged to the sons and daughters to fulfill their desires. And then Prabhupada says, this is his business like that. This rascal wants like this, and he's still so merciful. He asks Maya, the mature nature, give him a body like this. He wants like this. So therefore we have got varieties. Because we have got varieties of desires, we have got varieties of bodies. So ultimately, the mature body is just a machine, and because we identify with the machine, we think we're the machines, but we are not. We identify the mature body, and that's why we suffer or enjoy, so-called enjoy, and we are forced to accept these bodies under the laws of mature nature, because we might not know that what we want. We might say, we could put a facade out to everyone like, we want this, we don't want this. But ultimately Krishna is the supreme soul within the heart. He could hear everything. He knows everything. He knows us better than we know ourselves. So he could identify the desires we have. And then we complain, even if he fulfills our desires. So Krishna. Yeah, so there is three doers. There is a super soul, the mature nature, and the living entity. And Krishna says this in a verse of, we as the souls, all we can do is desire. I've read this somewhere. I couldn't find a right reference for it, but Prabhupada writes in one of the purports that the only thing a soul does is desire. And Krishna sanctions that desire through the mature nature. So as a super soul, that's Krishna's duty. As a supreme sanctioner, the mature nature's duty as one of the doers is to work under Krishna's direction, to create bodies, to create varieties with the resources it has, to try and keep us here. And ultimately the soul does is desire. So man proposes and God disposes, Prabhupada says. And it is up to Krishna and mature nature to make a situation where we can fulfill these desires. And seeing us suffer, Krishna as the best friend in the hearts of everyone is directing and giving opportunities to everyone to come back to him. We do not follow Krishna's directions, and we misuse our free will and become lost in the net of temporary pleasures. Under the illusion, we are now declining to act under Krishna's direction. In the verse before 60, Krishna says that if you don't act hearing me, you'll be lost. And few verses before that, Krishna also says, like, if you become conscious of me, you could overcome all the obstacles of material life by my grace. So just by being Krishna conscious or trying to accept Krishna's direction, one can overcome the temporary identification and the illusion to identify themselves in relation to Krishna. And by being in relation with Krishna, one is directed. So when we consider Krishna as the supreme sanctioner, the supreme father, the supreme lord of all that is, the cause of all causes, by his opulence he helps us to surrender unto him, and with that surrender we understand our position. We are subordinate to him, and with that we surrender our we try to surrender our free will, our independence, to act according to Krishna's directions, because we all have free will. We could use it as we like, and Krishna lets us use it as we like. But Krishna at the same time, he knows, like, if you're just going to act according to your own intelligence, then you're just going to be lost. So Krishna wants us to just listen. I know what I'm doing. You just listen to me, to follow my directions, and you'll be happy. You'll be with me. And because you're my part and parcel, you can't try to be independent and think that you could be happy in the material world. So we have to do the free will to accept Krishna's orders. And when we try to fulfill our desires in the material world, we are always limited to something. We could desire to eat so much, but there's limitations. The stomach is limited. So in our human or in the material world, the bodies are limited, and it gives only a limited amount of satisfaction or pleasures. So when we follow Krishna's directions, we can overcome this limitation to try and experience the joy of eternity, the bliss which is never ending. And a devotee is always praying to be guided by the Lord in their desires, to purify the desires and to make the desires one with the Lord. And this way they try to free themselves from material pains and miseries, from the illusion. So in Bhagavatam, I've tried to find that most of the prayers of the devotees, somehow or other, it always involves the aspect of the Krishna as the super soul within everyone's heart. It might have different contexts. Like Queen Kunti says, like, you're the Supreme Lord within everyone's heart. And then it's like Kardama Muni says, you're the Supreme Lord within everyone's heart. And Brahma says, you're the Supreme Lord in everyone's heart. They might have different contexts, but this aspect of Krishna to be in everyone's heart is every devotee who we should be following. They all have this inclination to pray to Krishna to guide them, and that's like Krishna saying, like, I will guide you. Like Krishna, he's guiding anyways, but we're not listening to him. So every devotee is willingly surrendering his free will to Krishna, saying, "Can you purify my desires? Can you help me serve you? Can you help me surrender unto you?" So in this way, they're trying to become free from illusion. And if one prays sincerely to for Krishna's direction, Krishna reciprocates. That's the only qualification which Krishna has. Like, if you pray to me and if you're sincere, then I will listen to you. And even like in the pastime of Lord Brahma, Krishna, it was Krishna. it was Canto 3, so it was Lord Vishnu, where it says, if you act without remembering me, or if you act without thinking of me, you will be overcome by pride. And that pride, you can't have sincerity or your humility. And Krishna, you won't be able to listen to Krishna, even though he might send you many directions, many orders. You'll be confused. You're an illusion, you can't really do much. And there's also one very nice pastime in Canto 3. I couldn't find a verse because I literally just noted it down like a few hours ago. So Krishna he's talking to Kardama Muni. Lord Vishnu is talking to Kardama Muni, and he says, actually it could be Hiranyaksha, like Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, but it's in Canto 3. It's like Krishna talks about how he's never revealing himself to the atheists and the envious. And then in the purport, Prabhupada says about how Krishna, he's the property of the pure devotees, and Krishna he doesn't reveal himself to the non-devotees because he's like vulnerable to his devotees, because we have been using Krishna to fulfill our desires for so long. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Gaunitai. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So Prabhupada explains how we have been using Krishna to fulfill our desires so much that Krishna doesn't really want to reside in our hearts. Like, he's there as a super soul, but he's not there as Sri Krishna. So he, as a super soul, he's there as neutral, but he's not as a friend. He's there as a friend, but he's not there as Krishna. He's there as a super soul. He's also Krishna, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, Prabhupada explains how Krishna is vulnerable, and he doesn't want to be exploited by us just asking him to fulfill our material desires. So Krishna hides himself, and when he hides, he still sends directions as a super soul, as intuitions we say sometimes, and the gut feeling. Krishna's always guiding us, but he doesn't reveal himself fully to us as a super soul, because we yet have not qualified ourselves to accept his orders. And when we are ready to accept Krishna's order, Krishna manifests himself in so many ways, even internally and externally. So like when you go on book distribution, you have this one line you say to everyone, but then ultimately, like, there's just one person that comes your way, and you just say something, and like one charming line, and this person takes a book and he gives a nice donation, he goes away. And that moment, it's like, it's the line that you have never spoken, it's a conversation you have never thought of having. It's like the person you have never really, you were like, oh, maybe he probably won't take a book anyways, but let me just try. So that's Krishna just guiding us from within. When you're trying to sincerely serve Krishna, Krishna's there guiding you. He's using you to. He's making you part of his plan, as he's using you to fulfill his desires. And we can all look back in our lives, I could say, from so many things. Like sometimes Krishna is just guiding us in ways which we don't even know about, which we find out like years later. He's like, oh, okay, that could have been way worse, or this could have ended up like this. In that moment, you make decisions which you don't really know about. I remember when I came to the manor in September, and I was like, do I really want to do this for so long? And is this the right place? But then it's like in that moment you get this confidence, and it's like, because you're trying to serve Krishna, Krishna is always guiding you, especially if you're trying to serve Krishna. And because you're trying to serve Krishna, you're able to hear him speak to you. And Krishna speaks to us in so many ways every day. He speaks to us, to the devotees, to the scriptures, to the classes, and even the small things, you could go out to to the streets and someone could say something to you, and that could be like just so revealing, you know. You could be thinking about this for whole day, and this person is a non-devotee, could just say some small sentence, and that could be like, oh, it just clicks. So if we are trying to look for Krishna, Krishna is always trying to look for us. He's looking after us. Yeah, so we could be serving Krishna through endeavoring. Yeah, and the aspect of hearing Krishna isn't like only a thing for like pure devotees. Even if you're just practicing, and even if you're just trying to come closer to Krishna, Krishna has to help you, because that's Krishna's duty, you know. He's there as a Supreme Father, and he wants the best for us. And if we want to come and serve him, then he has to reciprocate to us, and he helps us in many different ways. Prabhupada says I've read this somewhere. Prabhupada says that we all have ability to connect with Krishna personally, and that was very nice. It was like, I remember I came back from India in December, and Satchidananda Maharaj was giving a class, and he was doing the Radha Madhava, and everyone was just very quiet, like very mellow, and Satchidananda Maharaj was like, you guys need to sing, you know. And then they said this one thing is like, chant with your personal touch. And that was like, you could do so much services, you could give a class, you could go on books, you could do whatever services there is. But if you're not doing it with your personal touch, if you're not doing this with your personal connection with Krishna, then it's very dry, you know. And that dryness it'll fade away. You can't sustain yourself in dryness, in Krishna consciousness especially. So in chapter 6, Krishna gives the qualification, the only qualification of how to hear Krishna from within the heart. You could hear Krishna from outside if you're if you're personally connected to Krishna and Krishna consciousness. But then there's times when you just have to hear Krishna, like you're in the situation and you have to make a decision and your life could depend on it. Or it's just something that you really need to hear. So Krishna says in chapter 6 that if you want to hear me from within the heart, you have to conquer the mind. And mind is so loud that we can't hear Krishna at all, at least for me. And I try to find any examples of, if there's any pastimes of any devotees who had this in practice. And one thing I could come close to was Lord Brahma in Canto 2. In Brahma's prayer to Krishna, he says, "You are situated in every living entity's heart as a supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your supreme intelligence, without any hinderings whatsoever." So Krishna's always, he knows everything. He knows the endeavors, he knows the intentions, and he's the supreme director from within the heart. And then Krishna accepts the prayers, and he says to Brahma, "You will see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe, just as fire is situated in wood. Only in that state of transcendental vision will you be able to free from all kinds of illusion." So Krishna is talking about in Bhagavad Gita, like 1860, like you will be under illusion if you don't act according to my direction. And here Krishna is saying the same thing. If you don't see me in everything, if you're not conscious of me, if you're not trying to connect to me, then you'll be lost. And you'll be in all kinds of illusions here, Krishna says. That's the first thing to look out for when you're trying to hear Krishna. That Krishna has no limit. Krishna can speak to you through anything. You just have to be willing to, you have to be ready to accept wherever he's coming from. And for sincere devotees, Krishna is always guiding and helping from within as well. Krishna is a witness of past, present, future. He's noting down every endeavor, every thought we have, every intention. Sometimes it might come off as something that's bad, but eventually in the bigger picture, it all fits in perfectly. So in Krishna book, when Sudama goes to see Krishna in Dwarka, I really like this pastime because in the conversation, Krishna says, as a super soul of all living entities, I sit in everyone's heart and observe everyone's activities and every stage and order. And this was linked to how Sudama went to Dwarka with only because his wife told him, okay, you go and see Krishna and you could ask, like, maybe give us something for bare necessities of life. But Sudama went to Dwarka and he didn't ask anything from Krishna. But he took like chipped rice, which his wife begged from or asked from neighbors, other people. And Krishna is a supreme, he knows, like he said, he knows everyone's activity in every stage and order of life. So this was a very nice pastime to see how Krishna he reciprocates with our desires if he is just sincerely just there for him. Because Sudama came to Dwarka not to ask Krishna for anything. He just came because he wanted to see Krishna after so long. By the time Sudama got back, he had it says in the pastime that he had more opulence than King of Indra by the time he got back. And it was very, actually I heard a devotee say that because Sudama gave Krishna something that which he didn't even have, because he got the chipped rice from someone else, Krishna was so obliged to him that whatever he did, he could never reciprocate, because Krishna eventually has everything. So how can he give something which is not even his? So once a devotee is sincerely trying to be Krishna conscious, trying to come closer to Krishna for Krishna's happiness, to please Krishna as his part and parcel, Krishna looks after the devotee and protects the devotee in all circumstances. And in our conditioned state, we find it difficult to hear Krishna from within. Even if you're sincere, sometimes you just have those days when you're just lost, you're just spaced out. So Krishna guides, he sends scriptures and spiritual master. The spiritual master is said to be the representative of the super soul, the external representative of the super soul. So along with Krishna, Krishna guides to the saints and scriptures. And therefore we're just reading Nectar of Devotion, and it says the spiritual master is your connection to Krishna. Without the spiritual master, you are not very in line with Krishna. You could try, you could endeavor, but without spiritual master, you could never really know Krishna in full, because that's your link. And spiritual, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Krishna is property of his pure devotees. So the spiritual master is a pure devotee. And if you want to know about Krishna, then you have to approach someone who has Krishna. So it's nearly 50 past. And yeah. So no one can ascertain his destiny as the Supreme Lord can. Therefore, the best course is to take direction from the Supreme Lord and act. No one should neglect the order of the Supreme Lord or the order of the Spiritual Master, because ultimately that's our saving grace. When we work under Krishna and Krishna's devotees' orders, we are not overcome by pride. We stay humble. We understand we are not the doers. And Krishna says in 1860 that, and the Prabhupada says, but but anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. So we have to try to become glorious in service of Krishna. I'll just conclude. So today the 2 verses, 61 and 62 from 60 and 61 from chapter 18, which is like the climax of Bhagavad Gita, is coming to an end. Krishna is summarizing everything, and Krishna is telling Arjuna, I'm within your heart. I'm within the heart of everyone. I'm directing everyone's activities, and if you don't listen to me, you'll be overcome by illusion, and you'll be continuously going around in the cycle of repeated birth and death, because you won't be able to overcome your desires, and the material nature will give you different bodies. And then Prabhupada says that we have many different bodies because of we accept many different bodies because of our varieties of desires, or otherwise there would only be one body. And it's Krishna's business to fulfill those desires as the Supreme Father, as a Supreme Proprietor, and a Supreme Sanctioner. And a devotee, he is sincere in his endeavors to serve Krishna, can hear Krishna from within always. He can see Krishna, and Krishna helps such devotees to come closer to him. And sometimes when we are not able to hear Krishna from within, Krishna helps externally by the saints and the scriptures. So apologies for any broken sentences, confused sentences. I was a bit nervous. So there's 10 minutes left, and anyone has any questions? Okay, I'll go with Prabhu first.
I just wanted a bit more clarification and understanding regarding, you said that we're not the doers, but then you also say that we have free will. So just to clarify a little bit more about, you said that our only free will is our desires.
Yeah.
And then we act. So is it that's the only dependence we have about desires, and we actually sort of regulate through Krishna?
So Krishna does explain there's 3 kinds of doers: the super soul, the soul, and the material nature. So we are one of the doers, but ultimately, because we identify with the material body, we think we are the material body and we are the doers, whatever happens from the material body. So eventually your free will is to make the desire to serve Krishna, because you're using your free will to enjoy you want to enjoy in the material world. That's why you're using the free will, because you desire to enjoy the material world, and Krishna fulfills those desires. So you have the free will to choose what you want to do as your desire, what you want to enjoy, and what you want to suffer. Suffering comes with it, but it's also your free will to accept Krishna, to rely on Krishna, because we are not independent doers. We can't be independent doers. We are minute. We don't have so much scope to work with.
So what part of our choices are our actual free will then?
Your desires. It's your desire to come to the temple, that's your free will. Right. It's your free will to decide to go to a nightclub. Yeah. Hope that's okay. Yeah. With free will to Krishna.
One of the senior brahmacharis told me that one important aspect of spiritual life is not surrendering without intelligence.
Yeah.
So how do you balance, how do you practically then surrender free will to Krishna? Could you elaborate a bit on that?
Surrendering with intelligence is different to surrendering your free will. So free will is as I said, that's the choices that you want to do, your desires. Also, it could mean many different things, but in this context, I see your desires, right? A sort of free will to desire. And intelligence is like, you have to study the scriptures, you have to experience, you have to follow the process and experience the process firsthand, and then you get some realizations, then you get some bases, you get foundation, and you get some intelligence of, okay, this is, if I chant 16 rounds, if I follow the 4 regs, if I attend Mangalarti, I understand that this is a transcendental process, and I could feel Krishna's presence, and I could experience Krishna consciousness. That's intelligence. Okay, I've tried the process. I've seen what happens, what not happens. I could see other people who are not doing this, and they are miserable outside. That's your intelligence. So you have to use your intelligence. Like you can't be sentimentalist. Okay, this is Krishna and that's it. But why? Prabhupada didn't want blind followers. Prabhupada said, use your intelligence, use your common sense. So you should use your common sense and to see, like, if I don't do this, what's going to happen? You see? Because you could go out there and you could break the 4 regs, you could do whatever you want to do in the material world, but at the end of the day, the scriptures say that the material world is full of pain and misery. It's dukhalayam. So that's like, you want to have a first-hand experience of that, or you want to use your intelligence to think about, read the scriptures and understand it. There's like, Prabhupada does say like there's 3 kinds of intelligence as well. That's good search up. You're smart, intelligent. Yeah.
So, thanks for the class. Krishna as super soul, we want to speak of material people, but even devotees sometimes, speak like this, like, I was completely alone. But no, Krishna is there with your super soul. So, how can we consciously practice or consciously know that Krishna is there with us in form of super soul? Is there something which can say?
I mean, you just have to. Because Krishna is always there, and if you're, as a devotee, if you're saying it, then you're just not Krishna conscious. I would just say, if you're Krishna conscious, you understand you're never alone. Because that's Krishna consciousness, right? You're conscious of Krishna, and Krishna is one of the aspects as him there as super soul. And if you're Krishna conscious, then you can see Krishna in everything. Even if it's just not the super soul, you can see Krishna in nature. You can see Krishna in one room if you're just sitting down. You can just think about Krishna. You can think about the philosophy. So, but it's like, if you're a devotee and you're just saying it, then you're just not Krishna conscious. I would just say, that's because if you're Krishna conscious, you can't be alone.
So it's like a realization which we can get while practicing that stage of the video.
I don't know about realizations. I don't have any yet, but yeah. Even if you don't have realizations, and even if you just read Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada says the super soul accompanies the soul. And if you just have faith in that, then that's enough for you to understand that you're not alone. So, yeah. Okay. That's okay. So now we have 3 minutes and we have Gaura Arati. So, yeah, apologies for any mistakes. And thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai.
Who's singing? I have to go do something. Reading. You sing? You sing?
These are not this one, just Hare Krishna mantra.
No, that's it. Go on.
Prabhuji, you will sing after the Hare Krishna mantra.
You want to
Sing
sing?
Hare
Let's see
Krishna.
if someone is singing.
Let Prabhu, you sing. Any of you Prabhus?
My voice is really want the temple room to get
No, I kind of messed up with it.
Or the other Prabhu can sing. The other Prabhu can sing. Something. You want to sing?
I'll try. मुझे गुड़ आरती को सुबह डिफेन वर्क को करते हैं
मुझे नहीं पता वो ये चीज़।
when we sing the refrain one when we sing the refrain one when we sing it
Yeah.
Oh, so you
I-